Jim, I asked a couple players, and I think I've asked you before, and I want to just blunt.
Sure.
Why does this team expend so much energy defensively? I mean, they're willing to just shut it down.
Well, why are they willing to
Yeah,
do that?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a good question. Better question probably for them. But
I
I
asked a
think
couple guys.
I think there's just been a culture here long enough, and I think, some of the veteran players who have won, they understand how they won, and you can only do it by playing defense. You got to score goals for sure, but you have to make sure that you're a team that checks and that gives you the best chance. That nobody knows what it's going to look like in the end. It gives you your best chance. If you can check, you got a chance.
I know there are differences playing on the road, matchups, routine and whatnot, but all of those things should translate from the way you guys played at home to the road, right? Nothing to prevent that.
I would hope so. It's been a while. We had a couple one-offs. It's been a while since we've been out on a road trip like this. So I think the way we played at home, we got a pretty good style of play at home. I think, as Foxy mentioned, is pretty tight. We just have to make sure our mindset doesn't change coming back out on the road like this. And it's going to be a tough trip. But we start tomorrow night with the same mindset. We'll be good.
Is it harder to keep the same mindset game to game when you're moving around as much as you are on the road versus kind of that routine of being at home?
I don't know. I mean, that could be. I wouldn't see there for a reason to change that, and it just maybe requires a little more focus, a little more energy from the players. So that's how I would answer that is, it shouldn't change at all. You just have to make sure as an individual that you have the right frame of mind, and you can't get off it. And our guys have been good, so I don't anticipate that, but we'll make sure we remind them.
Saw Kevin working with both units again on the PP, as you mentioned. He did last game. What was just the thought process behind kind of giving him his extra minutes in those situations specifically?
Yeah, well, he doesn't penalty kill, and obviously one of our best offensive players. So games that there's penalty kill, he sits quite a bit. And if you asked him, he could stay out there on a 5-minute power play. That's he's got full energy for that. So, we'll monitor it a little bit. But if they're going up and down the ice and breaking the puck out, we might have to bring him off early. But if he's relatively fresh, we're going to keep him there. We think he can, help that second unit. Obviously, they scored for the first time, and he was on it. So there was some positives that came out of it already.
There was one more on Kevin. There was a play he made last game where he was in his own end. He beat out 2 or 3 guys, negated an icing, and then almost led to a good chance for a Q. Are those the kind of plays on top of the offense that you're like, all right, Kevin is where we want him to be?
Yeah, great effort, right? That was nothing more than effort and beating somebody up the ice. And then, of course, once he gets the puck, we all know what he can do with the puck, right? So it's getting the puck more, and sometimes you have to do a little bit more without it to get it, to be able to use your skill. And I thought that was a really clear example for not only us and Kevin, but obviously you guys too.
Jim, I think you've addressed this before. Just for clarification, when a goalie comes back, do you, off of injury, do you leave that in Mike's hands to tell you when, he's ready or not?
Yeah, I really rely on Bucks. I mean, he's a terrific goalie coach. So he always comes to me. We discuss it. We discuss it with the other coaches. Usually I say, does anybody have a good argument, one way or the other, a stronger argument? If there's no strong argument one way or the other, then yeah, we would defer to Bucks every time. We might have a discussion on it and still defer to Bucks, but usually he's got it right on, and there's not much discussion required.